Hey everyone, I'm Alex Nottingham, founder of All Star Dental Academy, and welcome to Dental All Stars. I have a great guest for us today, Dr. James Martin, and he is a dentist, and he's also the founder of Dentists Who Invest, as well as some other aliases. He's the crypto dentist, so he knows a lot about cryptocurrency. So we might touch a little bit on that today, but if any of you have questions about that, he's the guy to go to, or just let me know and we can invite him back and talk more in depth about that. He's also a social media expert. And so today, James is going to share with us some tests, some insights on how to crush it on social media for dentists.
Absolutely, 110%, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. And what we're going to do today, it's going to be, how can I say, maybe an expose. I like that because then it sounds a little bit mysterious and fun, doesn't it? And it isn't just your standard, oh, you post content, you do X, Y, and Z. It's a cold, hard, fly on the wall take on how you can grow your social media presence, expectations versus reality. Cold, hard, and gritty, the gritty truth. Not really. I've just made it sound like it's going to be some sort of, I don't know, murder mystery or something like that. But what I mean is there's going to be some real talk today, Alex, and it'll be interesting for everybody listening.
Excellent. Well, so social media. Tell us about what your thoughts on there for dentists. I mean, look, we spoke earlier in our discussion. I was on your show, Dentists Who Invest, and kind of I'm what's the word? Pragmatic and also skeptical about social media in terms of its effectiveness for dental offices. I think you have to be, in my opinion, you have to be doing it. I'm just wondering, from a lot of things I heard from dentists who've invested in social media marketing, or myself, I haven't seen an amazing return on investment. So that's why, we need to find people who've done it successfully, like yourself, and try to learn from what you do.
Absolutely. And you know what? We will touch upon what you've just said on dental practices and how they can use it better. But in addition to that, I think an underappreciated side of social media is, well, let's think beyond the dentistry for a moment. Let's think
Sure.
outside of dentistry. Let's think
Okay.
about each dentist as an individual. Let's think about stuff that they love. Let's think about their passions and hobbies and things that they like to discuss. How about it just as a means of broadcasting to the world what you're into, and also using it to develop a network of people with a similar interest,
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
therefore using that as a means to enhance their life, but also enhance yours and enhance your ability or skill to undertake that particular task or hobby.
So what I'm hearing you saying, James, and it's really intriguing me because you can see my face, is a whole different mindset going in to social media. Because I think a lot of dentists are like, what can I get out of it? Like, I want to monetize today and I want to spend money on it. And you're saying you're missing the point almost. Like, step back a second.
Definitely 110%. And yeah, Alex, when I was speaking just then, I could see you cast your eyes up to the sky, as if you were in your head, just trying to wrap your head around what I was just saying. And that's brilliant, because now what I've done is, or what I've just achieved, at least to you and to hopefully to a few people who are listening, is I've rejigged the concept of what social media is and how we're all looking at it. Because everybody thinks it's input, output, it's a means to an end, it's a means to generate business. I'm talking about social media from a more broad perspective and how it can enhance our life in so many other ways that we don't immediately recognize. Oh, and by the way, can I just caveat everything that I have said and what I'm about to say with the fact that about 18 months ago, I was strictly anti-social media. I thought Facebook was dumb. I thought it was a place where people went who wanted to show off, who wanted to post about their holiday in Marbella. I don't know if Marbella is quite as famous in America as it is in the UK. You'll have to be my barometer on that one, Alex. But Marbella, or Marbs, is like it's kind of like, Jersey Shore. It's like the place where people go for a blowout. Maybe it's seen as, I don't want to offend anybody from the Jersey Shore, but am I right in saying that maybe there's a connotation that it's slightly trashy? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't want to offend anybody. But I've already said enough. That's what Marbella is. That's what I had envisaged in my head as Facebook to be a place for. I thought it was just for surely that sort of stuff, surely for people who want to show off. But I think you get out what you put in. And if you post those kind
Mhm.
of pictures, if you post that flashy kind of stuff, guess what? You're going to get those kind of people who gravitate towards you. But on the flip side, if you post the love, if you post other things, you post just a little bit about you, a little bit of your soul, something that you're into, and you just make it purely about helping people, educating people, and displaying what you like, then in the same fashion, you will get that reciprocated back onto you. And that's what everybody's missing.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. You see the dentists that are successful on social media is they're not saying, well, what's in it for me? They're saying, I want to extend the love, what I'm doing. Like it's man, I made, look at this makeover, not just how great it is, but how I changed this person's, I was honored to be part of this person's life. And they told me this and this helped them, or look at this great article. When it's article, or here's this funny thing. Did you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, um, giving them a kind of an inside view into your life and your practice. So, I mean, step one, I mean, here's the kind of like, I don't know, I kind of, what's the word? Uh, uh, like, I don't want to keep going to the pragmatism thing, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But the bottom line is you have some dentists that are fun and some aren't. Some people are fun and some people aren't. So I guess like if you're fun and your practice is fun, like show it and have a party on social media, and then that's the whole idea about it. It's very organic. People start getting involved. They think that's funny, look what we did and things like that, or we had a tooth drive or whatever. So how I get what you're saying here is making an extension of you and who you are, even just your personal page you're talking about, and that could link, within your general page. But what if you're kind of a crabby dent? You're not very interesting. What do you do? I mean,
Brilliant
is it is,
question.
is it is it for everybody, or some people are just too Ebenezer Scrooge, to
Okay, I hear you. I 110% hear you. I don't think it's for everybody,
Okay, okay,
every single person on this earth, because
okay.
everybody is a lot of people. Are you with me? But I
Mhm.
do think it's for more people than people would perhaps necessarily realize. Okay,
Right.
and myself being one of them, myself being a former anti-Facebook, anti-social media, everything. I just didn't have any negative perception of it whatsoever, and I really wish I could have went back to myself, many years ago and back in time and say, James, you've completely got the wrong measure of this. Here's the things that it can do for you. Give it a second chance. These are the people that I'm appealing towards, and I genuinely do think that that is actually the majority of people. Whereas I don't know, I've never done a survey, but I would actually think that probably the majority of people are on the flip side and don't recognize it to be a good thing and don't actually think it's something that's necessarily useful. The main thing that changed my perception about it or allowed me to see it in a whole other way was the amount of love that you get and the amount of friends that you make when you put yourself out there. It genuinely was one of the most life enhancing things that I ever went through, and I just really wish I could have told myself about these things and I would have listened all those years ago. Those are the people that I'm appealing towards. And like I say, we're gonna talk about dentistry a little bit and how it can help dental practice, but we're just going to talk about specifically, we're also going to talk about the side about individualism and hobbies, etc., and stuff like that, and also a little bit about how you can go about the nuts and bolts of growing your social media presence, your following, because everybody thinks, or at least I thought, and I know probably quite a few people probably have this connotation, which is actually a bit of a misconception in my view. Most people think that having a following is just about getting that one viral post that, I don't know, is like Kim K's bum break the internet, all of that stuff, yeah, and then that ignites their following. It's actually about the grind, okay? It is about the grind, 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 grind every single day. And also, no one should be above adding people to their Instagram following people so that they can follow them back, people that have a similar interest or achieving what you want to achieve. There is nothing wrong with that. That is part of the grind, and that's called spreading your message. That is totally, totally, totally cool. And also, Don't try to act like a brand before you are a brand. Just keep it real, keep keeping it real, because there's so many people out there who aren't keeping it real, trying to be fake, trying to do marketing, all of that stuff. That side of the business is saturated. That side of social media is saturated, okay? There's there's not that much space over there to do this. Keeping it real, there'll always be space for, and there'll always be love for. And I feel like people think it has to be this synthetic, artificial thing when they grow their following. It doesn't at all. In fact, if anything, I think you're more likely to do better just by being yourself. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Just to go back to your original point, I do think that some people's personalities will lend themselves more to it than others. But you know what? I was one of those people not so long ago as well. And the fact is, if you want to have a version 10 social media, you have to be a version 10 of yourself, a version 10 person as well. And that's part of the process. It's actually part of the evolution as well. You realize what works, you throw a little bit of mud, you see what sticks, you see what doesn't, you know what, and you just grow into the role as well. And you're never going to be the same person that you were at the start as you will be
So
at the end.
so
That's part of the journey.
help me with this, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of visualizing the average dentist here,
Mhm.
and I'm feeling anxiety for them, because I think a lot of them, because we have to go in steps, right? So step one is, so what I heard you saying is, and this is brilliant for those who are listening and paying attention, and don't be distracted by his really pretty UK accent. Listen, he's got a lot of good things to say, so it's not just a nice accent. But the point is you're missing the point, right? Which is, it's not about brand building or making tons of money. Is you're building a follow, you're building friendship, you're getting yourself out there in that sense. The I think the apprehension some dentists have, right, is like, um will this be a lot of time for me? Will I feel embarrassed, or is it kind of scary to put myself out there, or is it dangerous, or will I create the wrong impression, or could I, so there's some, how does, as a dentist, like, get over that fear aspect? Like you said, you were against it totally, and you had a change of heart. What would you say to those dentists that are a little nervous about this?
Excellent question, and I've got an excellent answer. Think about what you have to gain rather than what you have to lose.
Okay.
You've got everything to gain. What do you have to lose aside from a little bit of uncomfortableness from time to time when you're putting yourself out there on camera? For me, that's the only downside. Okay. And yeah, at the start, there's going to be some barriers to push through, but you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You get that following, fake it till you make it, and then you get to that point. For me, the ultimate answer to that question is there is so much to gain, and realistically, there's not actually that much to lose. The only real thing that's holding a lot of people back is how they feel other people will perceive them if they
uh
begin to post.
sure, right, the fear of
That's it.
rejection and stuff, right?
This is it. This is it. And if you think about that, if everybody thought like that, no one would ever do anything. You know what I mean? Somebody somewhere has to take the leap and push through that. And for me, it's about growth. Think about the person you'll become. Think about how little you'll care about what other people say about you, and think about how many other ways that's going to help you in your life. Just because you posted those raw and unedited videos and they didn't go so well, who cares? People are fickle. People forget things. You've got
That's true.
everything to gain. You've got everything to gain and really very little to lose if you
Give
think
me
about
give
it.
me
So
an
what if someone
example,
makes fun of you?
James. Give me an example of some of the things you and your other dentist buddies are doing.
Okay, awesome. I will do. So, an example would be, and well, actually, before we do that,
Okay.
let me just talk about my very first thing that I did on
Sure,
Facebook.
sure.
This is zero following, never done this before in my life. I did it for the growth rather than anything else. And even if Dentist Who Invest didn't take off my Facebook group, it still would have been worth doing this for what I got out of it, which was growth. Okay. I still remember the day I posted that first YouTube video, okay, of me talking about trading. Yeah, that thing got about 300 views. I'm pretty sure 250 of them were my old school friends laughing at me, like, what is this guy doing? Do you know what I mean? Because subsequently, all my other ones got about 50 views. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's definitely what happened. But you know what? Like I say, that was the only. I still remember my finger hovering over that button and me just about to click the post button, and it took me a while to get there, and I eventually did post it, and then I closed my laptop and I went off and did something else. I was like, I'm not even going to think about it. That was the hardest part of the whole journey, and it was that first video. And right now there'll be a lot of people who are at that position they're in that position right now. They're just about to take that leap, but it has to start somewhere. Are you with me? But anyway, but to answer your question, Alex, you were saying give you some examples of things me and my friends are doing. So here's one for example. So obviously there's my group, which is all about finance and dentistry, and mainly with a Bitcoin and crypto slant because that's my thing. Another group I really like is Dentist Side Gigs by Laura Brenner. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but it is a group. Have you seen that?
No.
No. So yeah, it's a group on Facebook which is just about dentists who want to network and liaise about side gigs, creating side hustles, creating businesses outside of dentistry. I really like that. There's another girl that I know, and she's created a group for dentists who are expats and who live abroad so that they can network and discuss the process of what it takes to move to Australia, to move to Dubai, to move to wherever they want in the world. It's a place where they can just have a discussion along those lines because where else can you get that information realistically and you're really on your own? Anything that has value anything that has value and is just the right level of niche can be a following. The thing about it is, what you don't want to do is try to be Kim K, okay? Because guess what? Kim K's already got what Kim K does on lockdown. So what I mean by that is there can only ever be one break the internet, the booty that broke the internet, all of that stuff, you know what I mean? If you're trying to be her, she's already got that saturated. She's already got that individual take on what she does covered, okay? And people go to her when they want that sort of stuff, yeah? But where the money lies and where real value lies is the areas that are a little more niched but haven't been tapped just
Well,
yet.
you know what? I'm listening. Some of the things you're talking about are actually very advanced stuff. Like, I want you to speak to the bottom of the barrel. Like,
Okay.
this is a dentist. There's no side hustles. They don't think like you. I mean, listen, you're very entrepreneurial. I have some that are like you. 10% of my listeners are like you. They're into all this stuff. They're into these groups. They love it. But the average dentist is an introvert, just goes to work, does not do, doesn't, it's for curmudgeon, right? How does they get them on social media? Let's start with their personal page. What are they doing, okay, with their lives? How do they like inspire that? What can we do with them? What can they do?
Okay. Awesome. The first thing I would say is just get yourself out there, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. Just post a video, just do something and get the ball
So a
rolling.
video, you put your iPhone up or your Android, whatever, you post a video, you can the Facebook. What am I saying? Hey guys, here's our office. We're having, donuts today. I don't know. What do we what am I posting?
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
something.
Yes. Perfect. Yes. We're having
Okay.
donuts. I've just bought some broccoli. I've just switched on the TV. Loose Women is on. I turned it straight off again. I don't know anything. Honestly, you'd be amazed. It's the growth that it affords you.
So are you
Okay.
saying as a dentist, I need to be more active in my personal page, interacting with people, post things about me on my page? What about my practices page? So where's my activity? What am I doing? Just paint me a picture for the average dentist, what their life could be like doing, because you're speaking to like advanced level stuff.
Okay. Fair enough. We'll keep it a little more simple, and
Yeah.
we'll
Training
yeah,
wheels, hold my hand here.
make it super tangible. Okay, yeah, first and foremost, I would just going back to what I was saying earlier, I would say for anybody who wants to get themselves off the ground on that front, first of all, it's about recognizing the benefits that you would not necessarily associate with growing a presence, and those would be the things that I spoke about earlier, the human side, the number of people that will reach out to you, growing your presence, having a network and community of others who are into similar things to you. So
Okay.
first of all is creating that want or that value, okay? And I know that a lot of people love to stay inside their comfort zone, and perhaps you're quite right, perhaps a lot of dentists out there are a little bit introverted, and maybe that isn't necessarily them. But the very first step would be for me to allow those people to understand that there is a lot of value in doing that. With me so far?
Okay, so I'm on social media, whether let's just say Facebook, could be LinkedIn, whatever, but I'm posting about my life, what's happening in my practice, or what interests I have. I'm friending people, they're friending me. I'm following groups. I'm being involved. And you're saying just by doing those things, things will happen, right?
Yes.
Start
Yeah.
there. That's
Yeah.
enough. So
That's it.
just get involved. You don't have to break the internet and be this guru. Okay, you just need to be doing some stuff in there, and who knows what will, and that will work out very well.
This is it. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you have to roll the dice, don't you? And that would be high. And I think a lot of the things that hold people back are the mindset and maybe thinking that they have to be an expert in a particular field before they post anything. Even just by posting about something that you enjoy and what knowledge you do have about it, somebody somewhere, you will help them. You will help them in their respective journey on that path, on that particular topic, whatever it is. So if you know something about something, it's actually your duty to share it on the internet to help other people, and that's the
I see.
mindset flip we should all have. And therefore it makes you see social media in a different slant, and it also makes you recognize that you don't have to reach this ethereal expert status before you start posting, before you get the ball rolling, before you start helping other people. And that is something that a lot of people need to hear out there. And then when you compound that with the fact that there's lots of things that can help you, then for me that's the mindset flip that we all need to have.
So what I hear you're saying, there's still crap on the internet, but there's a lot of good things too, and you can be part of the goodness of social media and adding some, you know, helpful posts and helpful things to help people's lives.
There you go. Just make your proposition value.
I see.
Make your proposition value.
So
Make
you're saying
anything.
it's almost a mission. I'm going on social media, as a dentist, as a person, that I'm going to help my community, help who I'm connected with, and make a difference. And that can be
Absolutely.
your mission statement, as you say it, as you go on the internet. Not how do I just grab more money? How do I contribute?
Make your focus on creating as valuable content as possible. Make your content as valuable as possible.
Okay.
Make it as interesting as possible. Make it as easy to relate to and understandable, yet still technical enough that people can grow their knowledge just from reading it. And then everyone will have a reason to follow you. Well, everyone will have a reason to join your little section of the internet, your world. And then at that point, as soon as you get a following, that's when doors open. And what a lot of people try to do is they try to artificially grow the following, first of all, without really actually thinking about their content. But we should be doing it the other way around. And if you can do that, I promise you doors will open. There'll be so many things, opportunities that will come your way that is so hard to fathom from the other side. It genuinely is the most life enhancing thing. And I honestly, hand on heart, think that everybody should have their own little corner of the internet, create content, sheerly for the fact that it is such an amazing thing that can generate you so much prosperity and happiness in your life, and also help so many others.
And that's coming from a dentist that several months ago hated the internet, hated social media, and now you're doing phenomenal with it.
If I can change, anyone can on that front. That's
So
how far I came. That's how
I'm
far I came.
so dentists that are listening, and they're open to it. What can they do next? How can they learn more about what you're doing, or do you teach social media, or what do they do?
I don't have any formal means that I teach social media. I don't have any courses or programs on that front. One of my main areas of expertise is crypto and Bitcoin, in which I
I
run an
see.
active program for people who want to learn about the safest ways that they can invest in the crypto space. Emphasis on safety, and also
Safety,
doing it
yeah,
with
I
a
like safety.
long-term
I like
approach.
safety. And also,
Because
I can post. I'll post a link to dentists who invest. Can they join your group, dentists who invest?
absolutely, any dentist out there who wants to learn more about
But
finance, how to grow.
I have a sad thing though. I'm not a dentist. But what do I say? I'm James' friend. Will you let me in?
Of course I will. Well, I want
Yeah.
to extend, and listen, honestly, this is the thing. I mean, I made it
I
for
agree to
dentists.
the rules. Be courteous. No advertising. Oh, come on. I have to spam you a little bit. Just for
Can
good
I tr
fun.
Yeah. Can I trust you to try to be courteous on there, Alex? I know it
Oh,
might be.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, I'll try. You kick me
you'll
off
try.
then.
Okay.
Make an example
Okay.
of me.
No, I'm sure you'll be fine. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. But yeah, no, I want to extend that invitation to anybody, whether they are a dentist or not. If they have an interest in finance, if they want to know about ways they can protect their money and grow their wealth, Dentists Who Invest is the group for you. 110% join that, and I'll see you on there. I respond to every single message that I get on that group. I will get back to you if anybody would like to speak to me about anything I've said today, and even just from a more human point of view, understanding the nuts and bolts more in detail, even though I don't have any formal programs on growing a social media following, I will help you where I can, because I definitely believe that the world is just about giving and helping as many people as you can in order to make the greatest impact possible, and that's what I'll do.
Well, awesome.
That's my MO. That's my MO.
Thank you, Dr. James. I really appreciate your time with us, and certainly helping to coach us with that love, to not to, get away from the fear of social media, to take that plunge. I really like what you said about, the fear of, yeah, a lot of things on there, because we hear scary things up there. And also, I think at the end of the day, whether, just putting yourself out there is, I think, a recipe of life. Is you never know, and you're always proud of yourself when you face the things you're afraid of. And when you stop making it about the money and you make it about your purpose and your vision, the money comes as a result of your passion. Um, Absolutely, I love it.
Can I just chuck one more thing on top, which is
Absolutely.
this is a revelation that I had maybe as recently as about 3 or 4 weeks ago. You know the whole content thing.
Uh-huh.
You were saying earlier that lots of dentists are introverts. They like to stay in the shell.
Yep.
Okay. One of the greatest skills you can have in life is speaking. I 130, 40, 50% believe that. Okay. Doors open to you just from the sheer fact that you're eloquent and you can put a sentence together. Okay.
Did you know
Guess
that
what?
that it's public speaking is a greater fear than death?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lots of people hate it.
So
And
Jerry Seinfeld, the great American comedian, says you'd rather be in the casket than given the eulogy.
oh, I've never heard that, but that's
That's good.
brilliant. And you know what, right? Me personally, having this revelation, this epiphany where I recognize the power of speaking, okay? This is coming from someone, again, who not only hated social media, but also hated public speaking. And that was me,
Wow.
okay? And now I love it. I'm so happy to get on camera. I'm so happy to speak to people, okay? And where I was going with that was how I'm going to tie that into social media. Guess what makes you better at speaking? Speaking, okay?
True. True.
And guess what? You know where you have to speak? When you're on camera,
So just
okay?
get that phone and just hit record and just post on your feed.
110%. Honestly, when you're on that camera, you have to speak, okay? You literally have to, okay? There's no other option. You're in a corner right there. The focus is on you. The camera's not on anyone else, it's on you. Guess what makes you brilliant at speaking? Being able to learn how to handle that pressure and be on that focus, doing it a lot, okay? And when you can do that, when you can play up here, for anybody who's listening to this podcast, I've got my hand really high above my head. If you want to play up here and be able to speak on camera, guess what happens when you come back down to well within your comfort zone, which is having conversations on a day-to-day basis? You can do it
Oh,
so much better because you played it way up here. Yeah? And that is one of the best intangibles that comes through posting content.
wow. That's amazing. James, thank you so much for being with us on Dental All Stars. And for those, again, who are interested, we'll post a link and you'll join the Dentists Who Invest. I'm now going to be taking a look. I'm hopefully he'll approve me, and we'll see you guys next time. And go out there and be an all star.